Hi, good morning. We're here at Kelly Village TV this morning. We're at the home of my very good friend and ex-boss, Ms. Vivica Yearwood. We're here today to talk a little bit about plants, pepper, and pottery. Well, more pottery than plants and pepper, but we are mixing it up a little bit here. We're here at her residence at Church Street, Kelly Village, Caroni, actually. And a little bit nervous here. First time I'm doing this. So we want to just introduce her and we'll take the show from there.
Good morning, everybody. I hope that our brief interview with you all would be interesting enough and would at least encourage people to go with whatever they are best at.
Okay, so tell me something. How long have you been doing this trade? I should say, because it's a trade. When did you get started? What gave you the inspiration to get into the business and be as successful as you are now?
First of all, I got interested out of boredom. I worked at Piaco Air Services for 6 months on the what you call OJT now. That was something to do with Ministry of Labor when you didn't have your whole 5 certificates. I had 4 at the time, and I worked for the Customs Department. After the 6 months was up, I was encouraged to go back and do maths so that I would be able to venture into the field of custom officers and these type of things. But to be honest, I'm one person, maths give a serious headache. And out of boredom, after about 3 or 4 weeks home, I went to see what my neighbor was doing. Her name is she's deceased now, Antoinette Jarvis. And she was giving a course. Huh?
Miss Toya.
Yeah. More popularly known as Miss Toya. Yeah. And I started with her. It was a 5-session course, like 5 different techniques. And my grandmother, who I was very, very close to at the time, enjoyed selling. So at the end of the 5 weeks or so, my first piece, which I still have, I gave it to her. But when she passed on, I took it back. I'll show it to you sometime soon. It was a little cat with some specks all over it. The color not really that of a cat or that kind of thing. And she took it across the street and showed it to someone who ordered, based on what they saw, a fruit basket. And I just continued from that. Never looked back, never finished maths. Here we are today, still no regrets.
Okay. Okay, well, that's nice, and I hope it's as inspiring to me because she is actually one of the few people that actually inspire me as well. Well, what we're here to do today is learn a little bit about what she does, how the process, beginning to the end process of making pieces, ceramic pieces. So, without further ado, we will move on to the first stage. So, we're here now at her workshop. She's going to show us the first step in beginning stages of ceramics. So what we're going to do now is just hand over to her.
Hi again. This is a 100-gallon mixer where we mix slip or foreign clay that come in the forms of like a powdered form in bags. In order to mix this, there is a formula which is not necessary right now. We are going to pour a sugar apple, mold it, that's a local fruit. This is the material here, the liquid. This actually retails from anywhere from $30 to $35 a gallon because not everyone can afford to have a mixer and buy the slip in bulk like I do. This is a mold. This is the inside. It's rough. That's the shape of the sugar apple, the pulp, the pegs, everything. This is one already binded, so that we are going to pour the slip into the mold so that you would get the shape pretty much like making bricks. After a certain amount of time, you would turn this upside down and pour out the excess. You have to have a little bit of experience here because if the mold is very large, like that of a massive elephant, you'd pour not just more slip, but it would have to set for a longer period of time. Because this is small, it would be able to come out probably within the next half an hour, depending on the day. If the day is hot, you get out more from a mold, or you get more from it. If the day is cold, then the mold doesn't dry out easy, so it's damp. So the pieces normally cling to the inside. That is why we have time frames when people come to order stuff for wedding. They would come, supposed to give us at least 3 or 4 months notice. If they want 100 pieces and it's rainy season, you probably need to come a little earlier than that, and depending on how much molds we have. Okay, when this comes out of here, that's what we call greenware. It has not yet been placed into any kilns or ovens.
So we're looking at greenware now?
Yeah, all this is greenware. They came out molds, of course. The mold for this would be a pretty big mold. Right, it's a lavabo. It sits like this. It's a grape pattern. This is the cover. You can actually cut a hole and make it into a fountain. The top goes here. And this is the bottom, like the basin for it. So it's like 1, 2, 3 pieces. We have to scrape off all this unnecessary vein because this is the pattern of a leaf. Obviously this line has no reason to be there. So you'd have to scrape it out. I could do it with my fingernail. That's why I cannot afford to be glamorous all the time. Can't maintain nails in this job. Right, but yes, sponges and the proper tools. They don't use nails. Okay?
Well, I notice you have a plate here with some artwork.
Oh, well, the best artist in the world actually works to me. He's not here this morning, but this is a drawing of an old house. He is one of the, at least 2 people I know, who can finish a piece of ceramic with this type of artwork and a lot of detail. Right, I will show you a finished piece.
And this is a finished piece. It's a vase. What type of vase is it?
This is the Ericsson it is a lota. Not a lotus, a lota.
It's a lota.
Not the typical lota and tarrier kind of thing, but this is what we call this one. This is one of the most expensive pieces in terms of, okay, if you draw something like a hummingbird or a beach scene on the same vase, wholesale it would be about $165. But this house takes more time. It's not, it's a lot of detail, and this wholesale is $250, and they sell very well. Now we want to go back to the sugar apple.
Yeah, we're ready to go back to sugar apple.
Because if you notice, the liquid went down. As you got the insides absorbing the moisture. So the layer now, I can actually see how thick it is because of outside here. At least twice or 3 times, depending on the piece. Now when this draws down again, that means the inside is thicker. If I take it out too thin, it would tear. You will not get a whole sugar apple. Half would be in one side of the mold and the other half on the other side. Leave that set again, and then I could show you the kilns. This is a kiln that a lot of people who are trying to do ceramic as a hobby, although it is not wise to do it as a hobby anymore, it's very, very expensive. This is one that can be plugged into your outlet at home. It's a baby kiln. There are some that are very small, smaller than that you use for jewelry, but this is the smallest that I have. There's one, a medium-sized one that went to repair, and this is our massive kiln. A lot of people ask, how do you put stuff in there if it's only on the bottom? No, because of the varying sizes of the type of work we do, there are posts like these. So, let's say this is the kiln. Something tall at the bottom, put a shelf and put something else on top. So it's not like this whole place here is going to be wasting. Okay, you can elevate your shelves accordingly, and that is why we have these posts of varying lengths. These are stilts. If you notice, when you buy a coffee cup or a coffee mug, below it is glazed, because if it's not, then it's not safe for food consumption or hot water and that kind of thing. You can do a decorative piece and not use this. So long as you're doing wares, that stuff that you have to use in the kitchen, you have to use these. If you do not, and you glaze the bottom, it sticks to the bottom of the oven and it could mash it up, because you'd have to chisel it out. And I am now pouring out the excess.
So we're seeing the excess is poured.
Oh, so your shape is already in here. Now, I cannot open that right now, but I did pour one so that you can see what is going to happen. The showed you the inside first. I showed you the pouring. Now, here is one that is opened. See, you have your shape. Okay? Now, let's hope. Now, the sugar apple doesn't know that we are on TV, so let's hope we don't make a boo-boo. This is the shape of your fruit. And now we're going to take off the excess on the outside. Now, when you have brand new molds, you don't have to put up with all this roughage. You have a thin line, but these molds are older than me. So you have a little more work to do. This is the proper type of tool. It's called a cleaning tool. To clean the sides of this, this is what my teacher taught me to use. But you know, Trini, we're known for trying to fix a car like a Rolls Royce with a hairpin. So we don't use that anymore. We use knife and stuff.
Oh, the shortcut thing.
Yeah. You have to, at this stage, if something is broken, like if it has a cut like this, I can patch it up. I can fix it, like put some wet clay and mend what has been broken. A lot of people bring stuff here to repair. According to what it is, you cannot do anything about it except use crazy glue or epoxy.
Prior to having reached this stage with your workshop and production, where was your first place of business?
At the old Piaco International Airport, upstairs duty-free area. After you've cleared customs and that type of thing, the holding bay, sterile holding bay.
Okay. And how long you had the shop there?
13 years actually.
Okay, so
I elected not to go to the new airport. It was not like it was optional. It's not like if you wanted to go and you were refused or anything like that. I did not even bother to pick up the contract because my main support is and has always been here on earth my father, and he was not well. From the time you had that visa machine installed, Nneka, you remembered, he was in a panic.
yeah,
He just could not function.
he was nervous.
Yeah, and then he was diagnosed with prostate problems. So in the end, it was a wise decision. Okay, I never regretted that either. We currently supply at least 2 shops up there and still have an okay relationship with the airport authority.
So we're here now, second stage of the sugar apple.
Cleaned off the seams and unnecessary lines so that you have something that we can work with, nothing sharp when it's fired to cut you, and ready to fire or go into the baby kill. Now, this is the sugar apple that was fired. If you notice, the color has changed. It is white. It is hard. This is gray, hollow. It can break piece. If I forgot it here and I throw down some water, I would come and meet it all melted. Alright? So, there are only certain types of paints you can use on this, but that's another story. Alright? But this is ready for paint and handling roughly. And the first color we're going to use is yellow. I am going to pour some here. Now remember, this sugar apple has grooves. So you're trying to get the yellow in the seam of the fruit or the creases. So you're wiping it like that.
So what you're saying here now, some of the things that you actually learn, you learn it on your own.
Of course, I mean, it has been years. And if you're going to teach, you have been doing it for a while and you're going to teach a class, you do basically what is expected of you, which is what she did. Right? Now, if you want to go further or you want to learn more, there are books and technique sheets and things like that. Back in those days, people weren't as selfish as they are now. So when I go to the factories and they have stuff, if they're bringing colors recently or imported stuff, they would have these things thrown all over the place. And I would pick them up. So I did a lot of reading. But this was taught to me by a young man by the name of Derek. I think you know Derek. Alright. So this is the yellow. We're going to get it made in the creases. We want a few white creases too, but we just want it really attractive. This is the green. This is the black. And you want it like on top. You still want to see yellow and the green and everybody. So you do not put this in the creases. You put it like on top of the mound. Now every fruit has a hole, like it's a pouring hole, so when you arrange it into a fruit basket, you try to hide it. Just like when you buy a cat or a dog, there is obviously a big hole at the bottom. That's where you pour out the excess. Well, the pouring hole is like this. When you have finished painting this, we have what you call the glazing process. Now, because I use a number of different colors, I'm not going to drag the brush so that they mix together. I'm just going to like mop it. Alright? Now, when the polish is applied, that's this bluey stuff.
That's a glaze, they call it.
This is a glaze, right?
Glaze.
You can arrange a lot of fruits in here. This is already glazed, so this is cheating. But you can arrange all of them like this. You put it in the baby kiln. It fires for about 6 hours. It cools for another 6. And then when you take it out, you have a complete cornucopia or a horn with fruits. Now we are going to show you a finished sugar apple.
The finished product.
Yeah. And if you want to work with me, you will see I actually have a sugar apple tree, which I didn't plant. It just popped up in the yard. Okay. You want to take a look at that?
We also into pepper. Pepper, kuchila, chutney, anything to do with pepper. A local cottage. It's newly started and so far it's going well. So far. Unless it's raining and we can't get the mango dry. So we're looking at the real deal and the finished pottery. Overripe actually. So it's similar. The real deal is really small, but it's about the same. It looks the same.
They actually grow to that size.
Some, but since we didn't plant this tree, we do not know what to expect. I was told by people who have trees like this that they haven't seen one bear so small. It's a good thing because I was about to cut it down.
So we're back where we started, under the tree, in the hammock, taking some fresh air. We just want to thank Ms. V here for showing us around, letting us into her home and letting us know a little bit about what she does. And for all viewers, we hope it was very informative and you guys learned something. Maybe it might be a bit interesting. Maybe you might want to take a class and get started, open your own business, do the same thing, try the same thing, see how far you can go. And basically, we just want to thank her again. Thank you, Ms. V.
You're welcome. I hope that what I have done is at least given young women in particular some sort of encouragement, because I would like each and every one of us to be able to help ourselves, whether it's our hands, whether it is that you're academically inclined or whatever. But there are some friends of mine who are multi-talented. They are good at 3 and 4 and 5 things. You're only a success when you choose one and probably just have one second choice. From the time you try to do all, you're going to end up in trouble. Pick something you're really, really, really good at. I don't care what it is, and stick with it.
So, a little bit of words of inspiration. So, KVTV, thank you and enjoy.